People. Que pasa, say what they do. Welcome to Crime Time News, where the difference is in the med scarlet news with a buzz. Do you remember growing up in the good old days when certain people, certain position, they were held in high esteem, meaning members of the fire brigade, the P0L, people like those. Those were respectable careers. Those were persons in which the neighborhood, everybody looked up to because they were people of character. However, people, it seems as if in Jamaica, in the new wave Jamaica 2.0, power is mostly corruption. Power is mostly evilness. People use that power and they take advantage of the situation. They manipulate their power. Like them say, power in the wrong hands is a very dangerous thing. I am speaking about a person, his name is Mr. Floyd McLean. He is the Assistant Commissioner of the Fire Brigade. Region 4, he is in charge of that region, which is in Montego Bay, St. James. However, the other day, there were some damning accusations. As a matter of fact, he was officially charged for touching up and attempting to rape a young girl. That young girl, 14-year-old. Based on the P0L report, it is said that he made several inappropriate passes at her, tried to slap her up on her ASS. He even pushed her in some sorts of corner, some sorts of bathroom, try to force himself on her. Needless to say, she reported it to her mom, and the mother made a report to the P0L. He was officially charged about a day or so ago. Now, here's the harsh reality about Jamaica, and why a lot of these men, whether they are motivated by the fact that a lot of people, not just young girls, older women, they use their pumps as some sorts of passports. In some cases, these men that are in power, managerial position, them feel like say, alright, me can employ somebody based if them are let off a thing, if they agreeing to the terms of endearment. That means if them want the job, them have to go lay down, open them leg. If them want rise up in the hierarchy, them want a higher position, then them have to sit down and position upon the boss man, John. The very disturbing thing is that this is a normal thing, or some of these men have normalized it. Some of these women seems as if they have accepted it. Therefore, if them want a certain position, them no mind lay down, them no mind give up a thing. So it seems as if there's some sorts of barter in the career field. So you can be in a job, you have X amount of degree, you have bachelor, you have PhD, and you say to yourself, then hold on a minute. Oh, me not get any sorts of raise. But this girl come in, and you see every month she get raise. She have big position over you. She's less qualified than you. She not have no sorts of degree. However, she is bending down. She is bowing to upper management. So therefore, she get all the position because she is positioning for the boss. So it seems as if a degree is worth less than somebody with no sorts of dignity and pride. Somebody that is willing to appease the boss. SEXUALLY. And sometimes these people, if them try one time and them get away with it, them feel as if, well, them can try it again. So therefore, they push the envelope. So therefore, when this little girl, 14, come in at the place and her mother talk high about this person and say, alright, you're going to go to Mr. Floyd place, and Mr. Floyd I go show you around. Them never know say Mr. Floyd want to show them him little teely or him little tongue, and him want to touch up and be a little petty to this 14-year-old. What makes it even worse? Because of his position, because politics and corruption play a big part in Jamaica, more than likely it is going to be that young lady's word against his in a court. More than likely he is going to get some sorts of big lawyer. The big lawyer is going to use some sorts of delayed tactics. These people are going to get frustrated, so therefore the case is going to be either drawn out. Him go beat it upon some sorts of technicality, because we know said the body club, these defense lawyer and these judges. Now, this is not scientific, but I am sure that if you did a survey and asked most women, have you ever been the victim of some sorts of SCXUAL harassment in the job or somewhere throughout their career path? I am sure that at least 80-90%, maybe even more, will say yes. If you ask, did they press any sorts of charge? I am sure that maybe 80-90% is going to say no. When you ask the question, why? Because it is going to be his word against mine. It is usually the power that determines who win, who lose. So in other words, when money talk, the truth is silence. Justice is silence. Hopefully for this young girl, she will get the justice that she deserves if whatever she said is the truth, and I think that it is. Hopefully for this man, I hope that he loses his job. I hope that he loses his pension. And I hope that if it is in fact something that he has done for a very long time, the people who determine who gets that Tarzan and Jane justice, it is given to him. Point blank and period. Further on in the news, it seems as if these gangsters in Jamaica, they've come to the decision or conclusion that there's very little resistance to our criminal activity. And unless our activity gets extreme, wherein it gets the attention of all involved, meaning the Prime Minister, the Commissioner of P0L, the church, then more than likely our crime will go on, uninvestigated, unsolved. However, people, there was a couple of incidents that took place in a place called Gregory Park, that is in Portmore, St. Catherine, wherein at least 50, some say 60, some say 70 people are left homeless after all sorts of GUNMEN invade them home, firebomb it, and do all sorts of things to the people. And at least 1 or 2 persons lost their life. We saw that the Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, came out and he said, alright, I am not going to spare any sorts of manpower, any sorts of money. I am going to get to the bottom of this investigation. And people, it seems as if the Prime Minister kept his word while this 9-day thing is going on. A very big operation was launched by the joint military team, meaning P0L and JDF, on Wednesday. They went looking for these persons who are persons of interest, persons who are suspect in these activities. They arrested or took into custody at least 18 people. 3 of them, said to be persons of interest, were also charged. They seized 2 firearms and persons were charged for those 2 firearms. Now, what was very disturbing about these 2 incidents back to back is that all of this is for turf. All of this, the motive was people wanting persons' property, persons' house that they did not build, that they did not inherit. But like most criminal elements in Jamaica, bad mind, grudgeful and envious, and wanting other person's stuff that you did not create, did not work for, such as in extortion. Such is the mindset of these criminals. They feel as if anything them want, them can get it by force, by the hook or by the crook, whether by the gun or by fire, bombing, the people in place. And what was even worse is that women were also involved. Women were going on the mission. So just like the men, the women are just as wicked and evilous. They should get the same determination, judgment like the men. When the poor go for them as they did on these operations, they should not bring them in and spare them for waste taxpayers' hard-earned money. They should just hold court right there and then, be the judge, the jury, and you know exactly what else. Take them out on the spot. Save us the trouble, save us the money. Based on what the poor are saying, them a wonder, them a ponder, them a say then hold on a minute. This seems like a very disturbing trend wherein not only them a can up the people, now them a firebomb the people in place. So they are saying to themselves, then hold on, 2 incidents back to back in the past week or so. That is a trend in the Gregory Park area. In a St. Catherine again after that, the same thing. Is this the new norm? Is this what we can expect? What type of mindset? What is the change? What is the determining factor that motivates these youth to do people like this, especially poor people? Something has to be done. Based on the report, it is also said that in that area alone, there are 25 gangs. Out of those 25 gangs, at least 16 of them are active. So people, just imagine, in a one little area, 25 gangs, 16 active. All of those gangs have multiple members. So we see that this is not a little problem, this is a big problem. So therefore, if the Prime Minister don't put down his foot, if the Commissioner and top-ranking Popo don't do what they have to do and pretty much stamp this out, pyro and beg on them whenever they catch them on spots, it is going to escalate. And people, the sad thing is that whenever the Popo do the work and take these cases to court, the victims never usually show up, either by fear or either they just don't trust the Popo, or a combination of both. So just like the one done one other case, we see say at least 60 persons were charged. Out of those 60 persons, maybe about 15%, 15 of them, that means 15 out of 60, 25% were convicted. Such is the case right here. Just going by what we see so far, them all on 18. Out of those 18, only 3 of them got charged so far. So we are talking about 1 out of 6, less than 20%. Some people like me say, hope for the best and expect the worst. However, the good thing is that we see that the Popo, we see that Andrew Holness is getting serious. He just needs to keep, don't let it be a 9-day talk. Keep the pressure upon them, like them say, pressure bust pipe, point blank and period. Further on in the news, it is called How the West Was Lost Remix. How did one of Westmoreland's most wanted lost his life in St. Elizabeth? People, St. Elizabeth is supposed to be one of those places that is tranquil, the breadbasket capital. However, we see that these people are no longer farming, they are now forming some sorts of criminal organization. However, they will soon learn that this is no hiding place, no refuge for any sorts of criminal, because in the past couple of months or so, at least 2 of Westmoreland's most wanted have been taken out in a hail of BULLETS at the hands of the Popo. Mr. William Godfrey would be the last man. OC Klansman, just the name alone tells you that he is a criminal mind. Him learn the hard way. Based on the information, it is said that the P0L get some sorts of intelligence that they don't know, say, one of the West worst, they up here hide in a place called Malvern. P0L call the JDF Joint Operation, roll up in a Malvern. When them roll up in a Malvern, then who them go buck up in a? When them buck up in a him, guess what him go do? Him go try confront the P0L. Well, that is what they said. If it was not the case, who cares? If him wanted and him catch him, that means that them should have make him slip and slide down to the graveyard, and that is exactly what happened. Based on what the P0L said, when them roll up on the spot, Mr. Godfrey get froggy and go jump out, start blaze up all sorts of can after them. And people, you know that cliche script, the P0L took evasive action. P0L wheel and pop off and then do the same thing like him, and after the smoke clear, he end up on the SHITTY side of things, up SHITS Creek without any sorts of paddle. Pretty much him end up DEAD. Now, surely you know that if there's any sorts of SHOOT out between P0L and Badman, there has to be some sorts of tool, has to be some sorts of ammunition. Those were found. Whenever you are wanted and the P0L go for you, what determines whether you live or them take you in alive is if you jump out and you want to take on everybody. That is a FIGHT you're never going to win because you do not have the practice for the marksmanship. However, the P0L do. Whether they caught you confessing to your pastor or preacher, you was pretty much, it was written in stone that, listen, this man has to go, we're kind of tired of him. His time has come, his number was played, and him pretty much draw nil. Now people, here's the thing. This man was given bail in a Westmoreland for take away somebody's life. A part of his bail stipulation is that he no longer stays in that era in a Westmoreland where he's created all sorts of chaos and catastrophe. He brings his circus or show to a new place, Malvern, that is in St. Elizabeth's. Based on information that I am getting, the P0L get information say, you know, say after the judge who is supposed to be wise make a decision that maybe Westmoreland is not good for him, maybe a change of venue will make him be a changed person. When he went, he changed for the worse. So instead of getting better, him get worse, which is what they always do. However, for some strange reason, these judges keep giving these people bail after them MURDER, one person, two person, SHOOT up a whole bunch of people. It seems as if they must say, you know, say the worst, most notorious criminals, they can be rehabilitated. They are prime candidate for that, even though we've never gotten any sorts of reason that they will be. However, that is what they determine. So anyways, people, the good news is that he is gone. Taxpayer won't have to foot the bill. However, his parents or family or guardians more than likely will. More than likely he did not will anything to them. However, God's willing, he is gone. Point blank and period. So anyways, people, thanks once again for checking out my video. If you appreciate videos like this, please show your appreciation by liking, commenting, sharing and subscribing to my channel. That is how YouTube promotes videos like these to like-minded, sensible persons like yourself. And last but not least, please subscribe to my next channel. It is called Jamaica Dancehall Source. I'll be pinning the link to that channel in the description of this video. Bless up.